Welcome to Radiant Spirits Rising with your host, Heather Lena. Heather explores how natural healing can support your physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. She guides you on how to harness your inner power to overcome challenges, improve overall health, and strengthen your connection to your true self. Through grounding techniques, holistic remedies, and the transformative practice of energy balance, Heather offers practical insights to help you create harmony in mind, body, and spirit. So now, please welcome the host of Radiant Spirits Rising, Heather Lena.
Hey everyone, welcome to Radiant Spirits Rising with Heather Lena. I am so excited to be here this week. I apologize for missing last week. I had an urgent matter that came up at the last minute that required me to not be able to join you guys, but I missed you and I'm way excited about our topic of the day. So today our topic is about masculine and feminine energy and how we restore our dance within, how we restore harmony and balance between our masculine energy and our feminine energy, which is something that is cool to me because I've been wanting to learn a little bit more about this. And doing these podcasts has actually opened me up to a lot of information, and I'm hoping that it's doing the same thing for you guys as well. Don't forget, you can call me at 1-866-451-1451. Let's have a conversation about any of the prior podcasts or the one that we're currently working on. Also, you can type comments and I will see them and respond. Now, as per usual, we're going to start with setting our intention for this podcast of the day. So I'm going to have everybody close their eyes, start taking deep breaths in and out. Excuse me. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Another deep breath in and a deep breath out. One more deep breath in. And as you take that deep breath in, light up that heart space. And then let it back out. And as you continue to take in those deep breaths, focus on that heart space, light it up. Get it glowing. And we're going to set the intention today of the knowing, feeling, and knowledge of having a balanced energy in your life. What that means and what it does. And being open to receiving how you can get yourself balanced in your masculine and feminine self. And then once you've accepted that intention, go ahead and move all that energy into the heart chakra. Excuse me, somebody's shifting. We're going to send that energy all the way up through all your chakras and all the way down through the chakras, through your feet into earth, grounding you. And being accepting of that energy that we're doing of the day. Okay, and then when you're ready, go ahead and open up your eyes for me. Okay, so I will tell you that I literally have been feeling off balance. And I know that part of it is this crazy energy that's going around and everything that's going on in the world. But part of it too is just being out of balance, having things that are out of balance in my life. And so the message that I was getting that we needed to talk about feminine and masculine energies. All right, divine masculine and divine energy. So let me say what this is not about. This is not about gender. Let me say that again. This is not about gender. Okay. Divine masculine and divine energy, feminine energies have nothing to do with gender. It has everything to do with energetic codes within your soul that guide your intuition, your actions, your emotions, and your power. So we're going to explore what these energies are, how and why they get out of balance, the impact of trauma and generational wounds, how we're going to work on restoring your inner harmony. We're going to talk about crystals and angel numbers, and we're also going to start a discussion about feminine and masculine energy in children. So my last podcast that I did, we began talking about the next generation of light workers, which is our children. And the message that I got in working on this podcast is I needed to include looking at our next generation of light workers and how the imbalance can affect them and how they can become out of balance, right? Because being out of balance in your masculine and feminine energies starts at a very young age. It doesn't start, when you're adult. It starts when you are a child. It is affected by how you are raised, belief systems that you are brought up with, the trauma that you receive in this lifetime, as well as any trauma from past lifetimes. So this is going to be a lot of information we're going to be pushing in the next 45 minutes. So let's go. Get comfortable, get a notepad. Everybody, if you're not bringing a notepad or a piece of paper to my podcast, go get one. Take notes. Let's do this. Let's start working on ourselves. All right. So the first thing to understand is that everyone, no matter who you are, you have masculine and feminine energy in you. If you've heard of yin and yang, okay, masculine and feminine energies are like yin and yang. You have some of each. And they, like yin and yang, have to be in balance. And it's not affected by what gender you currently are. It is just how your soul is, okay? The balance of the two energies for your soul. So divine masculine energy can include being focused, grounded, and present. The architect and the builder. Now, what do I mean by architect and the builder? The architect and the builder of your life. That's what I hear. Of your soul, your growth, your opportunities, everything that you're doing here, everything that you've done in the past. The architect and the builder of it. Okay, so when you are creating the life that you want, you are using the masculine energy. Protective and responsible. So that also is masculine energy. It is associated with the sun, fire, the root, and solar plexus chakras. Divine feminine energy is receptive, nurturing, and fluid. It is creative and intuitive. So when you are using your intuitive abilities, you are using your feminine energy. Okay? Deeply emotional and empathetic or empathic. Let me say that word right. Empathic. Okay? And it is associated with the moon, water, the sacral, and the heart chakras. So your feminine and your masculine and feminine energies are from the heart chakra down. Okay, so it's this whole area down in here that your masculine and feminine energies are working out of, is this entire area. So think of it as this way. A masculine builds the container and the feminine fills it with life. One without the other creates imbalance. Without masculine, energy spills out without direction. Without the feminine, life becomes dry, rigid, and disconnected. Excuse me. So a person who is stuck in hyper-masculine mode may excel in career, but feel emotionally numb or spiritually disconnected. And you know what, guys? I was there. When I was working at the prison, I was in hyper-masculine mode. I guarantee you that. Okay? Someone in overactive feminine energy may have brilliant ideas and deep feelings, but struggle with consistency or boundaries. So think about that. Think about where you are at. Do you feel like your two are in balance, or do you feel like one is overactive over the other? And honestly, one can be overactive one day and one can be overactive the next day, depending on what's going on in your life and what's happening. So, in order to keep them in balance, we consistently need to be looking at ourselves and figuring out where we're at, what we need, where are we at for the day. Okay. Because it's important to realize where we're at, because balancing these energies is essential. Because when you balance these two energies, you step into embodied sovereignty. Embodied sovereignty. So you become someone who can feel deeply and act courageously while trusting your intuition and taking aligned steps. And you can set healthy boundaries and soften into connection. And guys, I'm going to tell you, I tend to lean more into my masculine energy a lot. And I catch myself doing that and have to pull myself back. And it's especially bad if I feel like I am in an unsafe place or an unsafe position. My masculine will really come out. And we're going to talk a little bit more about this, but part of this is because of my upbringing and what I was required to do. And then we're going to cover that here in a little bit. So when they are balanced and you become embodied sovereignty, this balance impacts everything. It impacts your health, your relationships, your spiritual path, and your creative flow. So if you're having a creator's block, if you are an artist or you're creative and you are having a creative block, you need to look at your feminine energy. It is highly likely your feminine energy is out of balance from your masculine. And that is why you are struggling with that block. All right. Imbalance can show up as chronic fatigue, too much feminine with no masculine structure, burnout or emotional shutdown, too much masculine, disconnected from self-care, and overgiving in relationships or difficulty receiving love or help. And I can tell you, I fit in at least one of those right now. Which is one of the reasons why my guides told me I needed to actually do the podcast on this. Because I need to go in and actually do some balancing work on myself. And yeah, there you go. All right. Balanced energy means your inner masculine shows up as the guardian who holds safe space, while your inner feminine can open, soften, and express freely. So when I do my energy sessions, when I do my crystal Reiki sessions, when I do my Reiki sessions, this is one of the things I'm doing, is I am putting your energy back into balance. We are working on releasing what these blocks or things that you have in order for these two energies to actually mesh and be back into balance. It's a really good way to work on yourself and do some healing work on yourself. Okay. It's exciting. So let's talk about trauma and how it affects your masculine and feminine energy. Many times, this is the root cause of an imbalance. So most of us were raised in systems that praise masculine traits, doing, achieving, suppressing emotion. The feminine, the creative, feeling, flowing, was often dismissed or even punished. And this is where my masculine comes in, because I was the oldest child of 3. Both my parents worked. And from the time I was old enough to, I was required to take care of my siblings and make sure nothing happened. And even though I was a child, this was what was required of me. And I was held responsible for things that they did or didn't do. Okay. So by doing that, my more masculine self has become the forefront of the female, of the not female, click cancel female, of the feminine side of me. So, and I can see that because I don't really like dresses. I don't really hang out. I have some female friends, but not as many other women have. I tend to lean more towards being, having friends on the men gender side. And that is all stemming from my masculine energies that are coming out. based on what happened to me when I was growing up, as far as being put in charge of and responsible for everything that is happening. So we're going to continue this conversation about how trauma disrupts these energies when we come back from our break. I'll see you in a minute.
Mike Zorek, a three-time California state champion in Greco-Roman wrestling at 114 pounds. Mike, blind since birth, was born in Hartford, Connecticut. He was a six-time national placer, including 2 seconds, 2/3, and 2/4. He also won the Veterans Folk-Style Wrestling twice at 152 pounds. In all these tournaments, he was the only blind competitor. Nancy Zorek, a creative spirit whose talents have taken her to the stage and into galleries and exhibitions in several states. Her father, a commercial artist who shared his instruments with his daughter and helped her fine-tune her natural abilities, influenced her decision to follow in his footsteps. Ms. Zorek has enjoyed a fruitful career doing what she loves. Listen Saturday mornings at 12 Eastern for the Nancy and Mike Show for heartwarming stories and interesting talk on the BBM Global Network.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back to Radiant Spirits Rising with Heather Lena. Today we are talking about our masculine and feminine energies and how we can get them back into balance. So before the break, we started talking about trauma and how trauma can disrupt the masculine and feminine energies. So because most of us were raised in systems that praised masculine traits, we all can have issues with that, so to speak. So a wounded masculine trait from trauma may include hyper control. So if you are a control freak, if you always have to be in control of everything, you have a wounded masculine. Emotional repression. So if you believe that crying is a sign of weakness, which is one of the things that I have had to work on and clear, you have a wounded masculine. Fear of vulnerability. That again is a wounded masculine. Chronic stress and dominance. Those are also wounded masculines. So I have a couple of those. Do you have a couple of those? I have a couple of those. Wounded feminine traits may include a victim mindset, codependency, lack of boundaries, and fear of rejection. And really, honestly, fear of rejection is really one of the biggest ones that I have seen with my clients, although victim mindset is too, but usually that victim mindset has been caused by the trauma that has occurred to the person. Okay. And whether or not it's a male or female gender that is my client doesn't matter. You can still have trauma, and all of us have some trauma somewhere. And so that trauma affects our balance. All right. So if you are a male and you have trauma, you may have a victim mindset or a fear of rejection. So know that that's not unusual and you're not an anomaly. I work with male clients all the time that have the same issue. All right. So, and as I stated earlier, this wounding begins in childhood. So a boy told not to cry learns to shut down his feminine energy so that he doesn't get in trouble for crying. Okay. How many times have we heard men don't cry? If you're telling your child that, it's not good, because you are actually shutting down his feminine side, okay, or that child's feminine side. A girl expected to please everyone learns to silence her masculine protector. This is huge. Okay, so ladies, this is huge. So if as a child you were to be seen and not heard, okay, and people were allowed to hurt you, then you have shut down your masculine protector. You don't allow yourself, or you don't feel like you can allow yourself to stand up for yourself and be protected. And the trauma doesn't have to be huge to cause the damage. If this behavior that is dealt to you happens a lot, all of the time, you get emotional neglect, lack of safety, inconsistent parenting, always being told you're wrong. Oh, that one just popped into my head, so we're going to throw that out. So if you were raised always being told that you were wrong, if you were raised always being told that you were not enough, that you would never succeed, that you were not ever going to be successful, then that is affecting your yin and yang. That is affecting your feminine and masculine divine energies. So come book an appointment with me. Let's start working on it. Okay. Even those, because what those things do is they fracture our energetic core, and they can also affect your soul and fracture your soul. So you don't want your soul fractured. We want to get that back into shape. And you know what? Part of this is connecting with your inner child. And we've done the inner child. We've talked about the inner child in a podcast. So if you have questions about your inner child, go watch my podcast about the inner child. Because part of the healing of the inner child is bringing your yin and yang energy, your masculine and feminine energies back in line. All right. So how can we rebalance our masculine and feminine energies? So make commitments to yourself and keep them daily. What does that mean? And honestly, I'm struggling with that right now. I get up in the morning, I'm like, I'm going to do this and this and this and this and this today. And by the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, I only got like that done. But it really is about making commitments to yourself and keeping them. But the commitments don't need to be all the things that you need to get done during the day. The commitment needs to be taking time to do something for you that you enjoy. Being creative. Sitting around reading a book. Listening to music. Whatever it is that allows you time for you, and making the commitment to yourself to just take time for you, and working on releasing everything that has happened and bringing yourself back into balance, whatever that is. Okay. Create structure in your day, morning rituals, goal tracking. So morning rituals doesn't mean you get up, you take a shower, blah, blah, blah. Morning rituals means, what do you do in order to help yourself have a better day and have a better outlook on your day and what has happened? So if that means that you get up in the morning, you get ready, and you look at yourself in the mirror and you say to yourself, I love you, you're beautiful, have a good day, then that is a morning ritual that you need to do every day. Because remember, words have power. So if you're talking negatively to yourself, then you are telling the universe that you are negative about yourself. Goal tracking. Okay. So what kind of steps are you wanting to take in your life? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What if you could do any job in the world, what would it be? If you could do anything in the world, money not an issue, what would it be? And guys, these are all about the divine masculine. Okay, so this is strengthening your divine masculine. Say no when you mean no, and set healthy boundaries. And I don't care if the healthy boundary you need to set is with a family member, is with a friend, is with a coworker. It doesn't matter. Healthy boundaries are important. And when you are able to actually set a boundary and be like, I am not allowing you to do this to me. I am not allowing you to affect my energy. You are going to feel so much better. So much better. Okay. Embody your physical self. Go to the gym, walk, eat grounding foods. So, grounding foods, fruits, vegetables, meat. Get away from the processed stuff. And guys, I'm going to be honest with you right now. I'm on the struggle bus with that. I was off of it for a while and some things happened and I ended up going back on it because it's easy and it's quick and I can grab it and go, but it's not good for me. And it doesn't ground me at all. Not grounding at all. The old adage, you are what you eat, it's actually fact. Okay. So if you're eating processed food, your whole body's going to be processed. If you are eating healthier foods, then you're going to feel better. You're going to have more energy. When we talk about embodying physical self, I'm going to throw meditation in there because meditation is really important to get grounded because they're talking about grounding here. Okay. So meditation is really, really important. And meditation is not, oh, I'm going to sit on the floor and I'm going to go until I'm all mellow out, because that doesn't work for me. Based on my gifts, that doesn't work for me at all. As soon as I try to quiet my mind, everything else in the world comes flooding in because everybody's trying to give me messages that I have blocked out through the day. Okay. What we're talking about is doing something that you enjoy. Usually my meditations are walking outside in nature, listening to music. And I've actually gotten away from that. And guys, this podcast, while it's a message for you guys, it's a message for me too. Just so you guys are aware of that. It is a huge message for me too, that I need to really work on getting my self in order. All right. But go to the gym, walk, eat grounding foods, get yourself feeling better. This is all part of strengthening the masculine. Use affirmations like, I am capable, I am grounded, I protect my energy. That too is part of strengthening the masculine. So to awaken the divine feminine, journal your feelings without editing. And I struggle. People tell me all the time to journal, and I tell people all the time to journal. Some people are able to journal, some people are not able to journal. And I am not one of these people that can sit there and just write in a journal. I just can't do it. But there's other things that I can do to kind of like awaken my divine feminine. So one is create art, move your body, and intuitive dance. I love to dance. When a good song comes on that I like, you can see me bopping around my house. All right. Bathe, rest, nourish your body with softness. Water. Guys, I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. Water is a great energy booster. So if you're feeling low on energy, go sit in some water. Hot tub, pool, outside watering, douse yourself with the hose. Whatever you need to do that. Remember when we were kids and we'd go play in the water in the hose? Go do that. That'll awaken your divine feminine. Spend time in the moonlight or near water. So again, we go back to water. Water is based off of the divine feminine. Okay. So that's one of the things. So moon and water, moonlight and water. Now, while I am not a fan of the ocean, I don't like getting in the ocean. I will get into a hot tub. I will get into a pool, and I love the moon, especially the full moons. And most people are like, well, how can you like a full moon? Well, I really do. Most of the time, I really do enjoy the energy of a full moon. The last one was a little rough, and sometimes they are. But again, that's probably because my feminine is off. It's not within balance right now. Practice receiving without guilt, whether it's love, support, or compliments. And guys, this is a lot to do with manifestation as well. If you are unable to accept gifts without feeling like you have to give something in return, you are blocking your feminine energy and you are also blocking manifestation. Okay. So if somebody gives you a compliment and you're about your dress and you're like, oh, thank you very much, but I really don't like it. You literally have just thrown away a compliment instead of taking that in and allowing your feminine energy to absorb it and be very pleased with the fact that they got that. All right. Use affirmations like, I trust my intuition. I allow joy. I am safe to feel. I trust my intuition. I allow joy. I am safe to feel. And I'm feeling like I am safe to feel is a big one for somebody. If you have crystals, you know what, guys? Sit in stillness with crystals in each hand, masculine in the right, feminine in the left. Breathe and ask yourself some questions. Where am I overgiving? Where am I holding back? What would it feel like to trust both my softness and my strength? All right, we're going to take a break. I'll be right back. See you soon.
Dr. RC will share extraordinary resources and services that promote educational success, as well as making a difference in the lives of all social workers, as well as the lives of children, adolescents, and teens of today. She will have open discussions addressing many of the issues that we face about our youth and how being employed in the uniquely skilled profession of social work for over 18 years has taught invaluable lessons through her personal experiences. She will also provide real-life facts, examples, and personal stories that will confirm that why serving as a child advocate is extremely beneficial when addressing the needs of the whole child. Listen live to Dare to Soar, Saturdays, 10 a.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network, and tune in radio as Dr. RC will provide thought-provoking information that will empower, encourage, and strengthen students, families, and communities across our nation. You can also visit her at soarwithkatie.com. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Welcome back to Radiant Spirits Rising with Heather Lena. Today we are talking about our divine masculine and feminine energies and how we get them back into balance. Before the break, we were talking a little bit about how to rebalance your masculine and feminine energy. So now we're going to go into talking about crystals and angel numbers that are linked to these energies. So because crystals are earth sacred tools, we have a lot of allies that we can use to help with our healing. The first one is masculine supporting crystals. Black tourmaline, it's an energy shield, boundaries, and confidence. Carnelian strengthens courage, action, and sexual energy. And tiger's eye balances power and self-worth. And two of those three I wear on a daily basis. Black tourmaline and tiger's eye. Imagine that. Okay, feminine supporting crystals include moonstone. Guys, moonstone is an amazing crystal for feminine energy. I love moonstone, even though I don't wear one. It enhances emotional intuition and feminine flow. Rose quartz. Now, I do wear rose quartz every day. It's unconditional love, self-nourishment. And labradorite. It awakens psychic insight and feminine mystery. And I have labradorite in stock. I just don't have it in something that you can wear, but I do have labradorite in stock. Integration and balance crystals. So amethyst. Amethyst is the crown chakra, healing, spiritual, and clarity. Clear quartz, amplifier of intentions. Fluorite, emotional and mental balance and decision making. I love fluorite, and I have it in stock. Ametrine, a rare stone combining amethyst and citrine, representing divine union within. Citrine's another great crystal. Okay. So angel numbers and divine messages of harmony. Our angels love to send numbers to guide us, right? Vibrational codes of balance and awakening. So 111, your thoughts are aligning with your divine will. Masculine and feminine are harmonizing. 222, duality and divine partnership, healing inner masculine feminine. 333, creative alignment. Your guides are supporting your authentic expression. 444, you are protected and grounded. Divine masculine energy watching over. 555, transformation, balancing chaos with faith. 717, now there is one that we haven't talked about, and it is intermarriage, sacred union of polarities. So if you're seeing a 717, that means that has to do with your yin and yang. 1212, ascension through harmony and soul purpose activation. So if any of these numbers keeps appearing, pause, breathe, and ask your higher self, what is the message that is being sent through? Children, let's talk about our next generation of light workers, all right? While many of them are referred to as indigo, crystal, and rainbow children, which we talked about in my last podcast, they carry a heightened sensitivity and expanded consciousness. They are naturally more energetically aware and spiritually attuned. Because of this, they often feel the disharmony of unbalanced masculine and feminine energy more acutely, both in themselves and in their environment. So if that means that you have children and your masculine and feminine energy are not balanced, they feel it and they know it. And guys, animals are the same way. Children and animals, they are very intuitive. So if you are out of alignment and your animals or your children are acting weird, you may want to stop and look at yourself and see what's going on. Okay? Because the children are feeling it. As guardians, parents, educators, and energy workers, one of the greatest gifts that we can offer children is to support them in developing and maintaining their energetic balance, long before the emotional wounds of the world shape them into something that they are not. Let me say that again. It is our responsibility to help support them in developing and maintaining their energetic balance long before the emotional wounds of the world shape them into something they are not. Before the world tries to make them into a square hole, but they are a round peg, and they are cutting them in pieces and taking pieces off of them in order to make them fit. All right? We don't want to do that. So children with balanced masculine and feminine energies often express emotions with healthy boundaries, have a mix of playfulness, feminine, and structure, masculine, are imaginative and grounded. So if you have a child that has a great imagination, do not dog them on that. Do not constantly say, oh, wow, you have quite an imagination. You actually need to get them to where they talk about it more, where they imagine more. Because growing up, I was always, oh, well, you have such an active imagination. And today people say that to me. I'll be like, there's a face in that. And they're like, well, you have such an active imagination, as if it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Having an active imagination is a great thing. It's not a bad thing. But people look at you like you're crazy and want you to not talk about that. They don't want you to have an imagination, okay? But it's important that our children are allowed to be imaginative and grounded. They are confident expressing their needs, but also have compassion towards others. Can rest and be creative, but also take initiative. So some signs that a child may be out of balance. Overactive masculine, an underdeveloped feminine, hyper-competitive or aggressive play. Overly logical or perfectionist, even in young kids. So if you have a child that is a perfectionist, or you require your child to be a perfectionist, you are creating an overactive masculine in that child. Okay, there is no such thing as perfect. Let me say that again. There is no such thing as perfect. Perfect is a farce. It is something that we tell people they need to do, that they need to be, and it is unachievable. Unachievable. And the reason why it's unachievable is because everybody has a different perspective. So 99% of the people may think it's perfect, but there's going to be 1% of the people that think it's not. And so then it becomes, well, you didn't get that perfect, so you need to try harder. And guys, that's dangerous for children. You're throwing them out of balance when you do that. Okay? Resistant to showing emotions, especially sadness or fear. Children need to be taught, whether they are male, female, gender, whatever gender they are going with, whatever they are aligning with, they need to be allowed to express their emotions. Difficulty relaxing or being imaginative. That is an overactive masculine. Overactive feminine. Overly sensitive to criticism or correction. Difficulty making decisions and asserting themselves. And you know what, guys? I'm going to throw this out, especially for females, okay? Because difficulty making decisions or asserting themselves. I get told all the time that I am aggressive. Well, you have an aggressive personality. Okay, no. I'm assertive. And if I was a male, you'd have no issue with my attitude or my personality. But because I am in a female body, a female avatar currently, you have an issue with that. Then I become aggressive. So we need to get away from teaching our children that females are not to be, cannot be assertive. Clingy or overly reliant on adult approval. Easily overwhelmed in structured environments like school. Okay. And I feel like they might actually be bullied as well. So we're going to throw that out. So if you have a child that's being bullied, one of their energies is out of balance. And if you have a child that's doing the bullying, you definitely have a child that's out of balance. Children mirror their environments. If a home is overly rigid or emotionally shut down, a child may repress their feminine. If there is chaos and inconsistency, a child may be overactive in their masculine energy to create control, internal control, or shut down their ability to trust and receive. So how do we support balance in children? So to support the divine feminine in children, we allow space for emotional expression without rushing them to be okay. We encourage creative activities like drawing, storytelling, imaginative play. Teach them it's safe to feel. Model this through your own emotional honesty. And connect them with nature, moonlit walks, water play, or gardening. To support the divine masculine in children, offer structure, consistent routines, and clear boundaries. Let them solve age-appropriate problems, fostering confidence in their action taking. Teach grounding practices, deep belly breathing, stomping like elephants, visualizing roots growing into the earth. And encourage healthy risk-taking and leadership in gentle, supportive ways. Some tools we can also use is crystal touchstones. A small moonstone or tiger's eye can be kept in a pouch or a pillowcase to encourage balance. Children are highly responsive to crystal energy and often intuitively choose what they need. Color play, coloring with chakra colors, red, orange, yellow, purple, blue, green, can help kids process energy without words. Sound and movement. Singing bowls, humming, dancing, shaking our energy out as fun and effective ways for kids to move between energies. Story-based visualization. You know what? Create guided visualizations for kids where they meet their inner king and their inner queen or sun and moon guardians. These archetypes help children understand their inner duality in magical, empowering ways. When you work to balance your own masculine and feminine energy, you naturally become a safe and clear mirror for your child. Your ability to express your emotions and hold structure without shame or rigidity gives them permission to do the same. So if you feel like your child is off balance, don't panic. You're not failing. you're becoming aware. And that awareness is the key to healing. And everyone, it's not just the key of healing for you, but it's the key of healing for your children. Because as you go through this healing process, your children are going to know and feel that you're doing that healing process, and they are going to accept that. All right. When you come do work with me, we send this work that we do up and down generational lines, and your children will feel the results of that. That work actually does help them in their growth and healing. So, you know what? Not only is your healing important, but it is actually beneficial for your children as well. All right. When we come back, we're going to finalize this podcast for the day. We'll see you in a minute.
Dr. RC will share extraordinary resources and services that promote educational success, as well as making a difference in the lives of all social workers, as well as the lives of children, adolescents, and teens of today. She will have open discussions addressing many of the issues that we face about our youth and how being employed in the uniquely skilled profession of social work for over 18 years has taught invaluable lessons through her personal experiences. She will also provide real-life facts, examples, and personal stories that will confirm that why serving as a child advocate is extremely beneficial when addressing the needs of the whole child. Listen live to Dare to Soar, Saturdays, 10 a.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network, and tune in radio as Dr. RC will provide thought-provoking information that will empower, encourage, and strengthen students, families, and communities across our nation. You can also visit her at soarwithkatie.com. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Welcome back to Radiant Spirits Rising with Heather Lena. Today we have divine masculine and feminine energies. So our affirmation for the week is, today I choose to accept that life can be simple. And the message from that is, when we are trying to control everything, we are creating havoc in our world, right? Simple doesn't mean not having the things that you want. Simple means literally that it is easy, that it flows easily, that it flows with grace and ease. And when we allow ourselves to release control and accept that our life can be simple, we are going to be so much happier. And actually, this right here really does help with your feminine and masculine energies as well. Next slide. Our service spotlight of the week is the Light and Love Healing Sessions. These sessions are available in 30-minute and 1-hour sessions. They focus on helping you bring positivity and healing into your life. Balancing as well, right? We work on raising your energetic vibration and releasing any lower vibration emotions. These sessions are good for those that want to work on bringing positivity and light into their lives. And it also is really good for balancing energies. Next slide. So for the week of June 16th through June 22nd, I am offering 10% off 1-hour crystal Reiki sessions. This must be booked in June or July. Use code Reiki10 at checkout to get the 10% off. You can go to heatherlena.com to book that appointment now, or the Light and Love session. Either one. Next slide. My latest blog, Unlearning Fear, A Holistic Path to Empowerment and Spiritual Freedom, is out on my website. Have you read it? You can go to my.linkpod.site/fearblog or scan the QR code if you're watching to read it now. All of my blogs are at heatherlena.com/blog. Next slide. Let's talk about tier 1 of our transformational community, the Soulful Balance. Guys, this is a great deal for $50 per month. This is a $100 retail value. So every week, the members of this community get a weekly Monday message card and a weekly crystal card. Okay. Both of those were pulled for the community yesterday. Want to know what they got? Join the community. It is a great way to start receiving messages for yourself. All right. You receive a discount of 15% on services and select merchandise. You get early registration and priority booking for all Heather Lena events. You get a members only Facebook group, and also there is a members only area for my videos for the transformation community as well on YouTube. So for less than $2 a day, you're building a ritual of daily connection, reducing stress, and beginning to restore your energetic balance. And this includes your feminine and masculine energies, right? This tier provides consistent energetic alignment and support without overwhelming you. Now, this tier 1 is open. It does not have a restriction of how many members. I will be covering the other two in the next 2 podcasts. But if you are interested in this is open. Come join our community. You will not regret it. Next slide. Oh, there's tier 2. So we'll go ahead and talk about tier 2. Harmonized Spirit. I thought I'd taken this off, but we're going to talk about it anyway. $75 per month, a $150 retail value. You get everything that you get in the Soulful Balance, along with, instead of a 15% discount, 20% on all select merchandise and sessions. You get a personal card pull each month, which the personal card pull, one of them will be tomorrow, and the next one will be on June 30th. So join the transformational community now and get your message tomorrow. Answer to 1 question each month via Pendulum. You get priority booking and discounts on the Inner Radiance coaching sessions, and only 15 slots are available for this tier. And guys, they're booking. So if you haven't gotten yours yet, get in. You're receiving individualized guidance, energy healing, and tools to support not just your spirit, but your body and mind too. This tier is ideal for those committed to real embodied healing. Next slide. The Divine Flow, tier 3, $100 per month, $200 retail value. You get everything in the Harmonized Spirit tier, additional personal card reading each month, additional answer to questions each month via Pendulum, priority booking for all sessions, access to Heather Lena for up to 15 text questions each month. And again, only 15 slots were available for this, so get yours now before they completely book up. With direct personal access to me, this exclusive experience gives you accountability, high-level healing, and intuitive mentoring. The Divine Flow tier is like having a spiritual coach, healer, and mentor walking with you every step of your journey. So if you have not signed up yet, go to patreon.com/C/healing with Heather Lena and sign up for the tier that you're interested in now. Guys, you will not regret it. Start your spiritual journey now. Next slide. All right. So if you have questions or comments for the podcast, send them to healingwithheatherlena@gmail.com. Any other inquiries, booking services, purchasing merchandise, go to heatherlena.com or contact@heatherlena.com. And you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Healing with Heather Lena. Next slide. Our final thought for today is, when we honor both the strength of our inner sun and the softness of our inner moon, we return to the radiant wholeness we were always meant to be. And with that, we are done with this podcast for today. So I will see you guys next week on Radiant Spirits Rising with Heather Lena. Have a great week, everybody.
This has been Radiant Spirits Rising with your host, Heather Lena. Tune in each week as we step into the world of natural healing and discover the radiant spirit within you. Tuesdays, 3 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave TV network, powered by B2 Studios. Start your journey toward balance and renewal.